Yeah.
All right, it is a rainy day in Texas today, and but we are meeting up again for another episode of the YouTubers Bunch to talk about, if you only had to choose one radio, what would it be? Haven't decided yet if that's an HT, a handheld, or a QRP rig that runs on batteries, so check it out.
Shut up and sit down.
All right. So there's only 5 of us today. Steve, Good Game Ham Radio and Bees. Rob, 741. Kyle, AA0Z. That's the name of your channel. And Mike, K8MRD. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Couple of dropouts at the last minute. Josh had a sick kid, so he couldn't be here today. And then Sterling had something come up. He said he'd be here, and then he changed his mind at the last minute. So
Mardi Gras, I'm betting.
he said he didn't go.
Yeah, well, last minute plans.
Yeah, I don't know.
He said something about a fire.
Yeah, so a fire to put out. He said, I just had a last minute fire to put out. I'm like, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was like a firefighter or something.
Means. That could have something to do with Mardi Gras, actually. So you never know. But Eric from Ham Radio Concepts reached out to me, and he's like, okay. He's like, I might join you guys one of these days, but it'll have to be a topic that I actually know about, because I want to sound like I know what I'm talking about.
I don't know about any of the topics we talk about.
I know it. Yeah. I mean, some of these topics I'm just like, man, just talk. I don't really even really care. So, but yeah, I sent him the invite for today and said, here's what we're talking about today. And I don't know, maybe he'll join in a minute. I kind of doubt it if he's not here by now.
Yeah.
But because he's on East Coast town, so it's actually an hour later for him.
Yes,
but,
me too.
Yep, me too.
No, you're not, Mike. You're in Central Time.
Am I?
Yeah. Or you
my whole life I lived in East Time.
No, I don't think you live in Eastern Time.
I'm pretty sure I do.
Do you really? Detroit's Eastern Time?
Detroit is Eastern
how much
time,
I know.
yes.
See, yeah. I swear you were Central Time, but okay, maybe not.
Nope.
Mm.
So who's not in Eastern Time here?
Central here.
Oh, okay. So it's just me and Rob.
Yeah.
Just you and Rob, yeah.
Rob, my POTA stalker.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I commented on that the other day, Rob. I'm like, dude, that guy's like on all of your videos.
Dude, I did 3 parks yesterday, and you didn't get me on any of them.
Oh, no, wow. I was preoccupied with other stuff. My wife had me doing stuff, so sorry, bud.
Terrible. That's terrible.
I was Mike, before you joined, I was telling Kyle, we're going to go back to Costa Rica probably in April, and Kyle had shown interest about going with us, which I think is awesome. Which, by the way, that's open to everybody. That's not just him.
I'll show interest in going, but I'm not going.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, well, let me change your mind real quick, Mike. There's 23 parks, registered parks for Parks on the Air in Costa Rica. None of them have ever been activated.
Oh, that's tempting. Do you think they'd pay my way down there to activate them for for publicity?
Well, the POTA guys, you know those guys better than I do.
Yeah, who's they?
Right.
Costa Rica, just the government.
Yeah, trust them.
Park place, whatever. I could do 24 parks. That's no big deal.
Actually, it's probably not any more expensive to fly there than it is to fly to Orlando, honestly. It's about the same price from DFW. Now, I'm further south than you are, but it's about the same price to fly to Liberia, Costa Rica, as it is to fly to Chicago for me. And it was about $100 less than that, 125 or so dollars less than that when I flew out to LA last November to go to Josh's Summits on the Air thing. So it's actually not too bad, because Costa Rica it's like a 2.5 hour flight from Dallas Fort Worth. It's not.
I need to just get paid full time to do ham radio.
Yeah.
I think you were trying to do that when you first started your channel. You're like, if I can get like 10,000 people to each give me $10 a month.
It's $10 a year.
Or $10 a year, whatever.
A year.
Yeah, I'd take $100,000 a year to
exactly.
To
do ham radio.
Absolutely.
I'll teach you all about ham radio.
Tough life.
Yep. But that'd be good. Yeah, I mean, that's always kind of been my goal anyway.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Just something, I don't need to get rich. I just want to sustain myself so I can make more videos. That's my goal. So.
Yeah, I enjoy making videos, but I like my job too, so I'd be torn. I don't know which one I would want to give up if I had to give them up.
I guess.
See, I get to do ham radio at my job, so that's not so
do ya?
bad. Yeah,
Really?
Really?
I teach school, so I have 2 classes I get to
Oh.
teach ham radio to.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great. Cool.
Just
So-
got 6 more kids licensed last week.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
cool.
Congratulations.
That's really good. Yeah, totally.
Now keep them on the air, though. That's the thing.
Well, they're
Do you
on there right
pass-
now.
Are you passing out like Bowfangs, or what are they using for radio?
Yeah.
and stuff?
I'm passing out Bowfangs like candy, man.
Yeah.
And
The type accepted one.
of course. And I'm actually throwing up a dipole tomorrow, and we've got a little club meeting we started up tomorrow, so I'm going to try to get them on
Great.
HF and get them thinking about upgrading.
That's awesome.
Hey, that's good.
Are you doing any antenna building? Like I still want to do that, like a J pole, or in that the youth magazine that the ARL put out. They had another neat like ground.
Yeah, they had
antenna in
a
there.
little vertical in there. Yeah, we started building some ladder line J poles. A couple of
Okay.
those have gone home,
Great.
and we're collecting Harbor Freight tape measures for tape measure Yaggies.
Nice.
Yep.
I've got
I've,
a toolbox right here full of Harbor Freight tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told my kids, anytime you go to these 2 cities, just take this coupon and go get me a tape measure. So
Have you applied for an ISS contact yet?
not yet. We just got our call sign 10 days ago for the club. And so we're waiting on our vanity to go through in like 7 more days. And then I'll get around to trying to figure out that step.
Yep. We did one with a school here in St. Louis, and it was a blast. It was awesome.
So it looks cool. I'm just not there yet. This is the first year that I've had kind of free reign with them. So 21 kids licensed so far and 3 teachers. So we're getting there.
It's great.
You got teacher's
Awesome.
license too, huh? That's kind of fun. So back to the subject at hand. We're going to talk about what if you had to pick one radio, what would it be? And I've been thinking about this myself the last couple of days. I guess we should talk about HTs, because if you have to pick one because it's a totally
Well,
different.
now you're changing the direction of the answer.
Okay. So you want to just do overall then?
Well, I've thought about this, so
Okay.
but whatever you want.
No. I think it's not up to me. It's just I don't know.
Well, you can almost go with one of each flavor. What
Right.
HT would you like? What?
Right. That's kind of where I was thinking too. If you had to pick one HT, if you had to pick one mobile.
Oh, it wasn't worded like that. It was one
No.
radio.
Well, it wasn't worded either way. I mean, so it
All
wasn't clear on that. So, okay. Well, let's just say radio then. Let's just say
All right.
radio. I don't care what.
I
what
could
it is.
probably answer it either way, but I'm more prepared for the radio.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I'll go last. So who wants to? Mike, why don't you go? You have an opinion about it. Why don't you go first?
I would choose a Bowfang. No, I'm kidding. So I thought about all of the. So if we're coming at it from if you could only pick one radio, just one radio, okay? Whether it's HF, UHF, VHF, all whatever, doesn't matter. Base, mobile, HT, okay? So I started to think about what were all the different radios that are out there. What do they do? Power consumption, size, weight, all of this stuff. And I think if you're going to have one radio and that's it, for me, it's going to have to do everything. It's going to have to do HF. It's going to have to do 6 meters. It's going to have to do VHF. It's going to have to do UHF. It also needs to be portable, because if I'm only going to have one radio, and while, yes, my 7300 is portable, it's not easily portable. I put it in a big, one of those Harbor Freight fake Pelican cases if I want to go out with it. Even though it's got those portable zero rails on it, I still want to protect it. The internal tuner I don't really care about so much. It would be nice to have, but I can make a resonant antenna pretty easily. So my answer, which surprised myself, because I would never just buy this radio because there's so many out there that I feel are better, but it would be the Yaesu 857D, because it does all of those bands. It's a mobile radio. It's small. It's compact. I would imagine it draws similar current to my 891, Probably less because the 891 is a current.
Probably
model.
less because of the screen size, I would imagine.
Yeah. So there's my answer. It does
Yeah.
everything.
I
Yeah,
think.
so-
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that actually. So, Rob, you had something?
No.
No, I was going to say
Oh, that
that's
was
actually
Steve. Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
that's actually not far off of mine. I kind of did the same thing as you and came up with 897D, which which I've actually got one of, and up until about 3 weeks ago, it's been rugged as all get out, and then of course it crapped out on me. So but I would still go with it. I think Lightning or something got it, but it's a great rig.
Yeah, for me, kind of thinking along the same lines, the 706 Mark II-G. I know they don't make them anymore,
That's
but
a good radio.
it's hard to beat that radio because it just does so much and it's portable. Aside from that, the radio behind me here, the 746 Pro, does everything I need it to do. It doesn't do UHF, but I don't do UHF either. The terrain around here doesn't work well for me at this location. But if I could only have one radio, it would be a toss-up between the 706 Mark II and this thing right here behind me.
So
This-
you have two. Yeah, the one on the bottom there.
Yeah, the 746 Pro.
Yeah.
This has got the built-in tuner and everything. Does the 706 have a built-in tuner?
No,
I'm not sure.
I
Yeah.
don't think it does.
no.
Yeah,
it
so I
doesn't.
guess it would be a
No.
toss-up for me.
Yeah.
I mean, this would draw more current. It's not quite as portable, but I've used it on field day, and it works great.
So it does. It does VHF 2 meters then.
It does 2-meter sideband, FM, whatever.
Right.
It's a great all-around radio, and you can still find them at ham fests for under $500.
I just
Wow.
sold one of those, and the only reason I had it is because I bought this estate sale, and the guy I think he said his dad had passed away or somebody, and he sent me some dude who found me on YouTube actually, and he sent me these. I said, "Well, send me pictures of what you got." He said, "Okay." So he sent me all these pictures, and I could tell it was an icon, but I couldn't tell what it was. But there was several other things in it too. Anyway, I ended up giving him a few $100 for everything. And I got it, and I gave him what he asked for. I said, "Well, what do you want for it?" So and we had to ship it. It would cost like $200 to ship everything. So, but that was in there. That 746 was in there, and I'm like, "Man, that's a nice looking radio. I just don't need it right now." I was trying to recoup my investment, so I sold it. I think I got about $450 for it. $450 shipped, so I had to pay for shipping myself, which is fine. But the guy got it, and he's like, "Yeah, this is my second one." He's like, "I just plugged it up. It works great. Thanks a lot." So. Looks like a pretty. I'd really like to. I plugged it in and poked around through the menus and tuned it up a little bit and made sure that everything was working. It really nice display. It's monochrome display, but it's a really nice looking display on it.
Yeah. I found it's a good balance between modern features and just usability and whatever over the
Yeah.
years. There's a couple of us here in the local area that have them, and we love them.
Yeah.
And I'll keep this one as long as it's serviceable, I guess.
What about you, Kyle?
I was thinking about this also this week whenever you sent it out, and I really don't. I have a bunch of HTs that I have, but I really don't. They're more for going out whenever I backpack. I brought the HT to the SOTA event that we had, but I love my KX3.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You can. This thing has been a workhorse for me. I mean, it's this big, right? You can put it in one of these canteen holders. I don't know if you can see that.
Mhm.
You can
I didn't think about that.
You can throw it in your backpack. It does. The KX2 is even smaller, but this thing does 160 through 6 meters, and you can get over here on the side. You can, other than my connector, you can get a 2-meter board for it.
Right.
I don't have that, but they do make a 2-meter board. I think it only puts out 5 watts or whatnot. But this was my first radio that I ever had. I bought this because I knew, since I live in the city, I knew that I was going to be working portable stuff. And whenever you talk about your first radio, they always say, "Don't get a QRP radio for your first radio. You'll be disappointed." And I bought this thing probably 5 or 6 years ago, actually longer than that. But the sunspot cycle was a lot better than it was, and I made, hundreds upon hundreds of contacts with this radio. And I have fallen in love with this radio so many times because it's just a workhorse, right? So that would be my radio. If I had to get out of the house real quick and had to grab something, I'd probably grab a couple of my HTs, but I would make sure that this thing is in my bag.
I think that I've got a KX3 that I brought to the
Right.
soda thing too, and the 2-meter board, the VHF board, does it go inside of the radio or is it like an external add-on?
No, it goes inside the board. I think that they make the 2-meter add-on for America and the 4-meter board for the UK.
Okay.
I think. Don't hold me to that, but
yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know they make a 2-meter add-on for it. I've seen it. I've priced it out one time, and I'm like, I don't really.
Yeah.
Wanna, that's why I don't have it yet.
How much is it?
I think it's like $250 or $300 probably.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's carrying an HT.
Yeah.
Right.
How much are you really going to use that in that radio?
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
2-meter
I
side.
thought about that. Not to cut you off, Jason. I thought about the Elecraft with that option, but the power or lack
Right.
of, and I've been discovering QRP lately, as a lot of people know, 10 watts as like the only radio for me. That's why I didn't pick an Elecraft. Otherwise, I would have.
Yeah. There are definite trade-offs. I mean, the nice thing about a QRP radio is, it's a smaller battery, right?
Mhm.
And you get a lot more runtime. And I'm under the impression of, the difference between a 5 to 10 to 15 watt radio and a 100-watt radio is maybe a half a dB, maybe a dB. So, it's one of those. And I hear you, Mike. There's a lot of times where 100 watts just punches through, right? And
From 5 watts to 100, I think it's 2 S units ish is the calculation.
yeah,
From what
so
smarter people have told me.
yeah, it's my go-to radio. It's the first radio I had, and I keep, I have an 891 here. I've got a Flex. I have what else do I have on HF? I think that's it. And I've operated many other radios, at field day and other operating events, and the ears, the sensitivity on this Elecraft, this KX3 is great. So that's my radio.
Yeah, it's hard to beat the receivers on those.
Yeah, the Elecrafts and Flex. If you go to the Sherwood engineering site, the Elecrafts and the Flexes are up there at the top.
Yeah, I've got an Elecraft back here. This is only a 10-watt K3. Actually won that at a Hamfest, but for my type of operating, just casual, whatever, I don't notice that much of a difference. But if you're contesting or you're really out there and you need that little bit of performance, sometimes it makes a difference.
Yeah, it does. If you're trying to pick those mobiles and rovers out of the weeds, it makes a whole lot of difference on if you've got a very sensitive radio versus, some radio that's 30 years old and just doesn't pick up what the modern receivers can do, But I'm not saying that those are bad radios. If you take a look at all of the contest stations, the big contest stations, they are running the more expensive radios, the 6700s, the KS3, the K3Ss, the ICOMs, the big, $10,000 ICOMs, but those are super stations, right? That we're not talking about just your run-of-the-mill contest station. Obviously, we can make the comment that anybody can contest and anybody can get on the radio with any radio, right? We're talking about the people that sink hundreds of thousands of dollars into their contest station, and they want to win, so they want to put the big scores up, and they spend the money to do that. us here on the common folk, can't get that done, and so we are we contest with the radios that everyone can afford, and we get the job done too. So,
Yep.
Agreed. Yeah, I think I'm with Rob. Mine would be the I have two 706 Mark II Gs. I have two of them. One of them I have was my first ever HF radio. It wasn't actually my first HF radio. My first HF radio was a 706 Mark II that had the 2 meters but no 440. And I kept it for like a year, and then I found a good deal on a Mark II G on eBay, and I bought the Mark II G and I sold the Mark II because at the time I didn't have the money to keep both. And I've still got that Mark II G, and I found a really good price on another one at a Hamfest about a year ago, and I picked it up. I don't think I've ever I powered it up, make sure it worked, but I've never used it. It's in a box over there because I'm like, there's going to come a point in time where you can't even find these anymore.
Yeah.
And they're already not supported by ICOM. You can't get certain parts for the motherboard anymore. But I think I would probably pick the IC7000 because it has some updated features over the 706 Mark II G, and it has 2 meters and 440 all mode, which includes FM, of course. And I've got two of those radios also. I've actually got three of them. One of them was part of that estate sale, and I keep going back and forth with myself saying I'm gonna keep it. No, I'm gonna sell it. No, I should sell it. I don't need it. I should sell it and take the money and actually use it for something worthwhile. But I don't need it. But I've got an IC7000 in my truck, and I'm working on getting my screwdriver antenna mounted and put in the truck so I can use it full time. And then there's another one behind the curtain right there that I'll probably use for a Go kit of some sort at some point in time. And the only thing I don't like about that radio is that it doesn't have the built-in sound card. So doing digital work with it's a little bit more difficult than like a 72 or 7300. But boy, those things, I told Ray Novak, I was like, you should do like an anniversary re-release of this radio, like 10 or 20 year, whatever it is. Special edition IC7000. I think people would gobble them up because they don't make anything like that. ICOM doesn't make anything like that anymore. And I've said that to people, and they'll be like, well, the 7100. Well, the 7100A has a weird looking bezel on the face of it. So you have to figure out the right place to set it. And B, it's overpriced. It's actually not overpriced these days. You can get one for about $750. For the longest time, it was overpriced because it has D-Star in it. I don't really care about D-Star all that much. And the reason I never bought a 7100 is because it'd be hard to mount mobile. I'm talking about the traditional looking 706 or IC7000 or even Yaesu 857. The biggest difference between the Yaesu 857 and the ICOM 706 7000 is that the ICOMs have the removable face, so you can remotely mount them a little bit easier. Like the 891 has the removable face, but they took away
857's got a removable face.
The 857 does? I thought
Yeah.
I know the 897 does. I didn't think the 857 had a removable face.
Maybe I'm talking about the 897 with the tiny little screen on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wrong about that then. The first time I went to Costa Rica, which was 5 years ago, it was me and four other guys. Yeah, four other guys. Three guys had the 857. That's what they brought. They brought the 857, and those worked well. I had a 706 Mark II G, so my screen was like 4 times bigger than the 857. Everybody loved using my radio, but then one guy had to one up everyone. He had a K3, and he was like the hot ticket of the meeting because that K3 rocked. But this was before the K3S was out, or right before the K3S came out. But I didn't think I've never owned an 857. I don't like the small screen. I know that the screens have an issue of failing, but I've also heard that failure on the screen is an easy fix.
I also think I want to change my answer because I totally did not think of the 7000. My dad actually has one of those, and that is a really good good
7000.
Radio.
I've used the 706. I've used the 706 Mark II G, the 7000. I've used the 857. Out of all the radios that are that general size, the IC7000 is my favorite one. It's just I like the screen.
It's
I
got
like
a
the
nice
sound
screen.
quality. I like the menus on it. It's just a fantastic radio.
Yeah, I'm officially changing my answer because I really, really, Yaesu, if you're watching, your menus suck.
You stuck.
Terrible.
Dude,
So I'm
I've
moving
never-
back to ICOM.
I've never used the 7000, but I've heard the displays are a bit fragile, and that's why I didn't pick that as my.
I've never-
all-in-one. But
I've never had
never
that
had a-
experience. I've never had that
and
experience.
do those do 440 as well or no?
Oh yeah, they'll do 440.
Oh, okay.
It's all mode. It's the updated version of the 706 Mark II-G. It's got a
Okay.
few more. It's got a display port in the back. It's not display port, but it's a port in the back where you can hook up an external monitor so that your screen, like you can get a 5-inch
okay.
screen or a 10-inch screen or something like that,
Yeah.
so you can have an external monitor on it. It does the voice recording where you can say KC5 HWB CQ QRP QRZ, and you can record that, and then you can just press the button instead of calling CQ all the time.
That's huge for me.
Right, exactly. And
So
the
that
706
display
doesn't have that.
That display port on the back, does it go to any monitor?
I want to say it's HDMI, but I think I'm wrong about that. I don't remember. Yes, it'll go to any monitor that has a certain. It doesn't have to be a proprietary Icon monitor if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, because as I age, and the bigger the screen, the better.
Right. Yeah. So no, it's not a proprietary Icon monitor. I know that, but I don't remember what the exact connection in the back of the radio is. But yeah, man, that's just a phenomenal radio. I love the IC7000. I always have. It does really good HF work. It does really good VHF sideband. The cool thing about VHF and UHF sideband, I don't really care. Kyle was talking about the KX3, and I have a KX3 too. I love that radio. It is a workhorse. But as far as adding a QRP 2-meter sideband board to it, if I'm going to do 2-meter sideband, I want as much power as I can get. So I don't really have any interest in doing UHF and VHF sideband QRP operation. Some people do, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But for me, I just don't care about that specifically.
Yes,
but
so that's. I was going to say, so that third IC, that 7000 you've got, look for an email from me. that one you said you're going to sell me. Yeah, that one.
I was thinking about emailing you too, but
Too late. I
actually
got
have
dibs.
2 of them. There were 2 of them in that package. He showed me a picture of one.
Wow.
He showed me a picture of one, and I'm like, oh, cool. It's got an IC7000 sweet. And he sent it to me, and there were 2 of them in there. So I really underbid him because he didn't send me all the pictures of everything he had. But when I made him an offer, he's like, yeah, that sounds good.
So you should raffle that out between the 4 of us.
Yeah.
You didn't know you were getting it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So
I need another radio.
That's a fantastic. Okay, so that's a good segue here. We got 9 minutes. That's enough. That's a good segue because all of you guys said radios that will segue right into this. So IC705, because the IC705 HF QRP 6 meters, 2-meter 440. It's got a BNC connector on it. It'll do FM on 2-meter 440. So you can put a BNC antenna on it and hold the radio like this, long ways like this, with an antenna on the top of it, and you can use your IC705 as an.
Does it have an internal mic and a PTT?
I don't know if it.
I
has
don't think it
internal mic
does.
and
You
PTT.
got to use.
Well, maybe it has
an.
I don't know if it. You know, the 7300 has internal PTT, so I assume the 705 will, but maybe not. Even if not, you've got a microphone off of it. Big deal.
Yeah.
You get a microphone off your HT. You do that all the time, right? So it can be used as an HT, as a 5-watt FM 2-meter HT.
A
right?
big one.
A big one, yeah.
It's
Yeah, really
small
big.
for what it is, but for an HT, it's pretty big. It's
Yeah. So,
like the Zach Morris phone of HTs.
right. Exactly. Yeah. So, but the IC705 will do all that. So what do y'all think?
It's not out yet, so we can't pick it. But
That's true.
What
all right.
what's the price that they were thinking about selling it at? Do you remember, or have they said anything about it?
They made an announcement at the Tokyo Ham Fair, I think it was, back in like December. I don't remember when it was.
Yeah, that was
But
like November.
they made an announcement out of Japan, and they said it'll be this much Japanese dollars, and then that translated to roughly about $1,200 US. Now they don't have an exact U.S. price, but it's roughly translated to $1,200 U.S. But just like it with everything ICOM, you know, when the 7300 came out, it was $1,499, and now you can get one for under $900. When the IC97
Under 900 now?
yes,
Yeah.
about 890, 889 to 899
Okay.
after ICOM rebate.
Sure. So what?
Yeah, exactly. So what? The IC9700 you can give for about 14 and a half right now, and when it came out, it was $2,099.
Yeah.
So if you're patient and you want to wait and you don't want to make a bunch of YouTube videos on it, which I don't fit into that category, let the IC705 drop, wait 3 to 6 months, and the price will come down on it, just like it has on, like their ID 5100. I was there. I think it was the last year that Dayton Hamvention was actually in the Hera Arena. It was either the last year or the second last year. That was the year that the ID 5100 D-Star radio came out. It was $725, and no one could keep. By the end of the weekend, everybody was out of stock. No one could keep them in stock. $725. Now you can get that radio for about $375. Just as good of a radio. Yeah. A lot of firmware updates have been made to it that weren't available then that are available now. Probably a better radio now than it was then, and half the price. So,
yeah. And that radio is QRP, right?
Yes.
Which
the 705.
The 705 is QRP, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't. Whenever I went to Hamcation, sorry, I didn't spend a lot of time at the ICOM booth. I'm not really that big of a ICOM fanboy. And tell you the truth, I know I'm gonna get hate mail for this.
Here we go.
But
what's your email?
Here we go. You wanna get to my channel and just send me hate mail? Why not? I'm not impressed with it at all.
Really?
Yeah. If I mean, it's too bulky. It is too big. It is. If I want and it doesn't have a battery in it. I mean, that thing is huge compared to my KX3 and a KX2.
It has a battery on the back of it. It's not internal, but it connects to the back of it.
But the one that I saw didn't have the battery on the back of it at Hamcation, did it?
Yes. Well, if you saw my video and Mike's video and I think Eric's video, yeah.
Eric made a video.
Yeah, because you saw that it was lit up, right? They weren't running it on AC power. They
All
had
right.
it, it had the battery on it.
I stand corrected.
Okay.
But it's just, I thought that it was going to be, I understand that it's got a color screen and, it is serving a niche in the QRP committee, the QRP community. Thank you. Community committee. It's all the same.
Right.
But I don't know. I just wasn't impressed with it. I like my KX3. I like my Alicraft. And people are going to buy it, right? It has a niche, and people like their ICOMs, and it is going to sell like hotcakes whenever it comes out. I just wasn't, I took a look at it and said, yep, okay, great. Whenever the 7300 came out, I'm like, this is going to be awesome. ICOM knocked it out of the park with that, right?
Yes.
I'm not really sure who in this sunspot spike cycle, low sunspots. I'm not really sure if it will sell. I'm not really sure if their timing is right. Maybe their timing is great whenever they can say, hey, we're going to sell this, and in 3 or 4 years, this is going to be a hot radio, and it's,
it'll be cheaper by then.
Right. Are you insinuating that the bands are dead?
I'm insinuating that the sunspot cycle is low right now. I'm not saying that the bands are dead. I did not say that. I'm stating a scientific fact.
Right.
From February 3rd, when I went down to Florida, until just yesterday, all of my portable contacts have been made QRP.
Yeah.
And I think I did 6 park activations so far this month. 7, actually. 1, I got nothing. Like, not a single. I got half a contact. I got half of the guy's call sign, and then he went away.
There are people on the
So,
bands. There are people on the
if you
bands.
call CQ, they're out there now. To have us like a home base rig, that's a bad idea. But no.
Surely
me,
they've done
I'm-
market research, though. Surely they've done market research that says, I personally think that they are trying to compete with Elecraft.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's their and mark my words, I don't have any information on this at all. I've asked Flex Radio about this, and they're like, yeah, we can't tell you that. Okay, fine. That's no problem. I think you're going to see a Maestro that's an internal QRP rig that's an answer to the Elecraft KX line. I think you're going to see that. It might be a year or two before you see it, but I think you're going to see it. But surely ICOM has done market research that says, wow, Elecraft is selling the hell out of these QRP rigs. Zygu is selling the hell out of these QRP rigs.
Yeah, there's a market out there.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's a
totally.
market for it. So
There is. I'm too cheap to buy one. I don't buy new stuff that much anyway. I can do everything I would want to do on a 705 on an 891, which I can buy used for whatever, under $500. So for me, I probably wouldn't buy one, but it's a good radio, and I certainly see the niche, and I see why people would want one.
And you can get a KX3
mm-hmm.
for, I think you can buy one as a kit for $850.
Oh wow,
Really?
I think. Hang on. Let me make that. Let me get in there.
I gotta go feed my cat real quick. I'll be right back.
I don't know about that, man. I mean,
I thought the
I'm not
kit
saying
was.
you're wrong, but I paid like 12. I paid like $1,100 for the one I have, and it was a display model. It was a show display model that they made me a deal on because I put up I've recorded several of their forums at various Hamfests and put them on my YouTube channel, and they're like, hey, we'll make you a deal on this one. And it's got all the filters in it. It did not have the ATU. I bought that from them and put that in myself, but it's got all the sideband and the CW filter is already in it. And they made me at the time it was like a $1,300 to $1,400 radio, and I got it for like $11, and I thought that was a good deal. That was a few years ago. That wasn't, recently, but $850 sounds awfully cheap for an Elecraft to me. I don't know.
All right, so the okay, I was wrong. It's $1,200,
Mm-hmm.
but the KX2 is $809.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where I got it. So
That's where you got it from, yeah.
the KX2 is $809.
That's really not bad because realistically, how often are you going to be doing QRP on 6 or 160?
Right.
If you're talking about doing SOTA and you're really looking for lightweight stuff and you're really looking to minimize your pack as much as possible, you're not going to be worried about 6 meters and 160 meters. I mean, most of the time you're going to climb up a mountain. You're going to make a bunch of 20-meter contacts. You're going to go home. So,
yep. How many times has this radio been on 660 meters? Once.
Oh, really?
Yep. How many times has this radio been on 6 meters? 0.
0. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I tell you what, if 6 meters is up though, you don't need more than QRP.
Yeah, that's true.
You can talk around the world on 6 meters if the band is open, if the magic band is open. But Mike, turn your camera on, dude.
He went to feed his cat.
Oh, I didn't hear him. I'm sorry.
I don't know if that's code for something.
Ooh, he is single. So,
Ouch.
I am
Heard everything
recording
you
now,
said.
aren't I? Yeah, I got that on recorded.
Heard everything you said.
I gotta
Wireless in-ears, guys.
Yeah.
I gotta go feed my kitty.
Right.
I had to feed my cat and get a Coke.
Yeah, I need to refill myself. In fact, I'm going to go to refill. So, Rob was talking about not buying new products, and I was going to reply to that and say, honestly, now it's going to sound like I'm making a bunch of money on YouTube, which I'm not, because that's why I have a daytime job. I bought all used stuff before I started a YouTube channel, and I wanted to do reviews on brand new products. both of the 706 Mark II Gs, of course, were used. I mean, they've been out for years and years. They've been discontinued for years when I bought mine. My 7000s had been well, the first 7000 I bought was right when they were discontinuing the radio. They had announced to discontinue, and I said, I need to buy one. So I bought one then. But shoot, man. The 7200 I've got, I bought used at a Hamfest. The IC 7700, which is back there, I've actually not ever used it. I got that at an estate sale. I mostly buy. I'm with you on the whole used thing. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I very rarely buy new stuff, except for when I'm like, that's a brand new radio and I really want to do a YouTube video on it. So let's just go ahead and, bite the bullet and spend some money so I can get a bunch of views on my YouTube video I do on it.
Yeah, I'll buy new stuff now and then. Depends on what it is and how much I really want it. And, I weigh it all out. But I like to tinker with stuff. So I'll pick up stuff at Hamfests that doesn't work and try and fix it.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of thing. Or if I want something that does work, or one of the local guys is selling something and I really want the radio and I know it's a good radio, I'll buy it, whatever. But I'll mix stuff. But I would never, just my personality and the way I am, I'm not an early adopter of anything. So even if the 705 came out, I wouldn't buy one today. I'd wait, that 6 months, not only for the price to drop, but to let you guys that are buying them first work the bugs out.
Well, I honestly, I have one on order, and it's through RNL, it's no big secret. He's one of my show sponsors, and he sends me stuff periodically. He's not sending me a 705. He sends me that VR Veritel in 7500 that I did a video on 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's Android controlled. You can program.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You like that? Yeah. Eric did a video on that not too long ago as well. He sent me that. He's like, hey, if I send you this radio, will you do a review on it? And I'm said, sure, yeah. So I've had I've had several companies contact me and said, if we send you something, would you do a video on it? And I'm like, oh, absolutely. I'll do a video on anything. I don't care.
Yeah, same here.
But I told Roger at RNL, I was like, hey, I want a 705 when they first come out, because I think it'll make a lot of good videos. I want to do I've got some POTA and some SOTA trips already planned. Let me know when you get them, and I'll buy one from you. And he said, okay. And he said, I'll put you on the list. That's really all he said. I'll put you on the list. I was like, okay. And I'll pay full price for it. Okay. I mean, not that he doesn't owe me anything. And then when I saw him at Hamcation, he's like, oh, I'll make you a deal on it. I was like, I'm not asking you to do that, man. He's like, no. I'll make you a deal on it, because I know you're going to point people to my website. And I'm like, cool. So that's definitely a perk.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of one of those things where, Mike, I think you do this with Wolf River Coils. It's like, I want to use it. I'm going to enjoy using it. I'm going to enjoy making videos on it so that people come to my channel and watch my videos, but they get exposure from it also, right?
Yep.
So it's kind of a give or take.
I bought my first one too, and then I hit them up.
Right.
I don't know, several months later, and they were kind enough to send me one. And
right.
I love their antennas. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's what I was using yesterday, activating 3 parks.
Good. Did you make videos on all that?
No, it was the first nice day in Michigan in a long time. It was like 45 and sunny.
Oh,
and
wow.
I just wanted to go play radio. I left at like noon, came back at about 5.
Yeah.
And I have it on a trunk mount, and I used a couple different whips. I had that big long MFJ 1979, and then I used their other Wolf River Coils, like 8-foot whip. I just wanted to get out and play radio. I didn't want to. Filming is like, it's so much more, I won't say stressful, but it's a lot of work to set up the camera and
right.
Do all that stuff.
It's a lot more equipment you got to carry.
It's not a lot. Because I film with my iPhone. I bring my wireless mic and a tripod. So it's not a lot, but I just sat in my car with the door open, the sunroof open, the windows, it was a nice day. And there were so many parks on the air stations yesterday on 40 and 20 meters. I couldn't hear much on 20, but I made so many park-to-park contacts, and in fact, actually,
Nice.
the third park that I went to, Island Lake State Rec area, which is Kilo 3315. I'm tuning around and I'm looking at the Parks on the Air website because people will spot other
Right.
POTA stations. So I'm just hunting and pouncing. I didn't call CQ at all, and I made 10 contacts, which is what you need to activate the park. All park-to-park contacts.
Wow.
I've
That's
never
awesome.
done that, and I'm like, after
Wow.
like my third
Yeah.
or fourth park-to-park contact,
Wow.
I'm like, I'm gonna see how long I can sit here and see how many park stations are out there. And it took me about an hour.
Wow.
And, like,
That would have been a great video, dude.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're hearing about it here, so
Yeah, there
There
you go.
you go.
This is on video.
yes,
So-
it is.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching. This has been the next installment of the YouTubers Bunch. For more information about it, all the channels from everyone here, or all the channels that are represented here, see the YouTube description below. Clickable links for all the channels in the YouTubers Bunch in each video that we do. Put your comments below also. Tell us what you think. If we missed some radio that you think we should have included, let us know in the comments below. Curious to see what you have to say. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.